And I'm back. And it's obscenely hot. Oh my god, it's hot. I just had a salad for lunch. That's how hot it is. I had vegan food. Yeah, no I didn't. I had a salad, but I wouldn't go that far to call it vegan food. But oh my god, is it hot. It is like, what's the temperature? It is 100 degrees even right now where I am. And I'm sweating a lot. And I long to get back on the highway. Now that I had my salad, my half salad, I'm just trying to like not eat too much in one sitting. I'm trying to get my stomach to shrink, and I mean not the big fat stomach, I'm talking the actual organ, so that I can start eating better quantities, not to mention quality. Jacksonville, South 95. So I think I'm in Georgia, or I am just about. I'm right outside of Savannah, and it's really hot, and I can't wait to get where I'm going. Ooh, somebody's actually watching. Hey, Bike Thing, how are you doing? Man, I've been liking your pictures lately on where is it? On Instagram. I like something. I like that lift that you had that bike on. I was like, wow, that's really cool. This is what I've been working on. I've been trying to find a way to live stream and sound good and not get run over by a UPS truck. No, okay. Now, normally I have a wide-angle lens, but I packed up my jacket because it's like 100 degrees here, which is, I don't know, like 40 in Celsius. And now that I'm moving, I can't really see if you're answering me, but yeah, I like that lift. I mean, that was really cool. I might have to get one of those. I mean, I actually have a lift in my garage already, but I like that a lot. I don't know if I can get it here, though. Got too many bugs on my face. Can't see anything. Let's get rolling. Now we're rolling. Yeah, so I wanted to live stream when I went traveling because basically I'm always traveling, and I thought this is good. I think I finally got it worked out, assuming you can hear what I'm saying. Sometimes I think it's very finicky startup. You have to kind of set it in a certain way. Hey, Thomas. I can just enough read to see that people are saying stuff, but I can't really see what they're saying, so I'm sorry if I'm completely off base. Oh, my internet's been gone the last few days. I'm using my phone as a hotspot. Hello, officer. Oh, safe travels. Yes, sir. Oh, I'll have to look into that. I'm not looking to sell anything, but I wouldn't mind owning one. It is so hot. Oh my God. What was I thinking? I should have went north from my house, not south. I mean, but I'm going to look at an apartment today when I get there, which is going to be like 6 o'clock p.m. So like 6 hours from now. And when I talk to the landlord, they go, well, now, I'm not sure, like I think it's going to be a bunch of old women, but still, there's a pool. And I did just buy a new bathing suit. It's an inside joke, so Bike Thing, you probably won't know what I'm talking about. But I jokingly, somebody I know needed an address, like a proof of address, so I sent him. He said, send me something from Amazon so I know, so I have an envelope showing my name and address. And I said, oh, sure. He didn't tell me what to send, so I sent him a Borat mankini. Needless to say, he wasn't amused. but now I have a Borat mankini with me, and I'm not shy. Oh, yeah. Okay, I am a little bit, but for the right joke, I'm in. Okay, what are we doing here? Welcome. Thank you for visiting First Impressions. So if they turn around and jokingly say, "Wow, you must be hot. Go put your bathing suit and hop in." I'm doing it. So, pretty sure it's going to be a bunch of all broads. Well, I don't want to call all broads. That's disrespectful. But it's not going to be 30-somethings. It's going to be 60-somethings and 50-somethings. Maybe even 70-somethings. So, yeah. I mean, that's about... it doesn't matter. And welcome to Georgia. So, yeah. So I might don the mankini just for the shock value of it. But probably not, because I like the idea of staying in a house with a pool. I am in Georgia. Georgia. Home of the peaches, which is also the latest symbol for ass. Georgia's a big-ass state. It doesn't look like it on the map, but whenever I travel down the East Coast, Georgia just seems to take forever. Forever. Let's see, let me get on a little straightaway and I can maybe lean over and read. Thomas. I think he just pretty much wrote a text saying, "Stop reading the text." Maybe. Thomas, you can always see someone. Can you guys understand me? Did I set it up right? Is it working? You can just simply leave a like or something. I didn't want to make a video for this before I left, because if it didn't work, I didn't want to look like an ass. So if people express interest in how I'm doing this without proper amount of subs, then I'll make a whole video on it when I'm settled in. The technology that I used, all that stuff. Because, on YouTube, you can't do this usually unless you have over 1,000. So, that and connecting the Cena properly. There's so many little hoops you have to jump through to get this to work. But, it's working. So, there you go. Woo, it's hot. Oh, I'm all alone. Everybody left. Oh well. Welcome to Georgia, where it's 100 degrees. I'm sure it'll be much cooler in Florida. Not. Alrighty then. Now that I'm all by myself. What do I want to talk about? I could talk about my helmet. That's what I said I would talk about. Now, this is a modular helmet, I guess would be considered, by HJC. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the model, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, I like the helmet. Don't get me wrong, I've had helmets I've liked more, but I haven't had helmets that fit better for my huge melon. It comes in sizes up to 5X. Now, some of the modifications I did to this helmet to make it friendly for me are, your standard. I have my Cena 10C, which is a communicator and camera, so I always have a camera if there's something I want to capture, which is nice, or I want to just vlog. It comes in handy. It's a nice piece of tech, and there's a more advanced version out now that you can get. So I'm thinking about the upgrade, but at the same time, I'm not. It's one of those things that if this dies, I'll definitely get it. But the only thing I ever really use from that camera is the audio. But even that I don't do anymore since I have worked out a better solution. The second thing, which is really the best thing, is this is one of those helmets with the visor that slides down, as you can see. And if you look close, you can see that I put gaffer's tape across the top, maybe inch of it. So if you're somebody like me who likes a helmet with a visor, this simulates a visor, so it blocks out the sky. My line of sight is just it just above the horizon. So when you're riding into the sun, it blocks the sun. It's actually a reasonable solution and a cheap one, you know, especially if you're like me and you already have gaffers tape. And on this helmet, it goes down at multiple levels, so you can get it down really low for sunset or just like a normal height for like normal riding daytime. So being that I have really had a bad eye problem as a kid and multiple surgeries on my left eye, and now I'm just blind, very sensitive to the sun. The only reason I really don't have this down now was because there's a big old bug right in front of the only eye I can see, and I forgot to clean it off. They're all better. Let's see, what else? Of course, you see there's a GoPro mount right here, and I use that for multiple things. I've put lights on there. I have my GoPro Hero 7 I put there, which I have stopped using that way. Even though it was beautiful, I didn't like the audio. So this solution that I made for live streaming is going to work for GoPro too. So we'll be testing that. Not live streaming, but just talking. You know, my little as I make videos, because that was a much cleaner interface and prettier results. So once I get settled in, I'll probably work on that. Oh, it's so hot. What's the temperature? Well, now it cooled off. Now that I'm moving, it's down to 97 degrees. Oh, sorry, 98. It flipped as I was talking. But these little things, this helmet I think is like a $250 helmet, which is nice, because I've seen some pretty expensive helmets, and with me, I don't want to wear a helmet more than a year or two at a time. So you don't feel bad about getting rid of a $700 helmet or $600 helmet. It's comfortable enough, and on the GS, I can ride with the face shield wide open and not get still have good wind coverage, or I could, if it's really hot, I can flip the whole front up, and like now, it's really hot, and I'm not really getting much buffering. Yes, I'm getting some, but it's not a bad, for my height, it's not a bad setup at all, and I really like it, and it was my first helmet I ever bought that wasn't like dark. I bought it when I got the GS. It's 2017, and it's probably due for replacement. But I do like it, and it fits. And I don't have to take my glasses off to put it on. That's like the big deal right there. Don't hit me. I've come to the conclusion on this trip that I need a freaking louder horn, because I just got about whacked by a guy pulling a trailer. I mean, the guy just really, he took me all the way to the yellow line in the middle before he realized, and I was on the horn the whole time, before he realized he was about to kill me. He looked a little stoned, but the point is I could barely hear my own horn. It'd probably sound better if I close this. But I know it works either way, but it's a reasonable, I'm doing like 75. Oh, good, it's getting warmer. It's 99 again. And, okay, well, we're talking riding and gear. You might have noticed that I'm always wearing these shirts, because I don't have the wide-angle lens. And I do that because skin cancer is a realistic issue. I don't have it. I don't want it. And I find that when you wear one of these safety yellow shirts, when you ride, like long sleeve, it's much cooler. Like, it reflects 90% of the sunlight, and so you don't really absorb the heat from it, and it makes it tolerable. As a guy who pretty much lived most of his life wearing nothing but black. Howdy. BMW guy waving at me, even though it's a car. This is definitely the way to go. I strongly recommend it. That's why you see all the PennDOT guys and the guys working on the side of the road, and landscapers doing it, because it's makes it much, much better. I remember going to Daytona a few years ago, and I went in my leathers because I had an R1. I guess it was a lot of years ago. And, ooh, look at all the prison buses. I know my leathers at the time were where the legs were black and had a big red stripe, and then it was white on the top. And you couldn't touch the black part of those leathers in the sun. It was too damn hot. But the red and the white were perfectly cool. And I knew then that when I got myself custom leathers, they were not going to be black. Although, in all fairness, I do have a set of black leathers again because it's slimming. You know. All right, I'm talking too long because people aren't staying around. But so that's kind of like a little bit of the 15. I've been wandering the country on my bike. I go home from time to time. Sometimes I just leave the bike and I fly home. But it's a nice life if you can handle it. I'm not gonna lie, it can be demanding at times, and I miss my family constantly. But I also notice that absence makes the heart grow fonder. The little tiny things that would tick you off about your wife or your kid become less annoying when you're home. Or I don't know. It's nice because when I'm home, I'm off. I'm completely off. I don't have to go to work. I get to spend all my time doing stuff with them. It's a nice trade-off. And when I'm on the road, I get to focus 100% on work and, well, you know, the stuff that I do on YouTube. So I'm not neglecting anybody, and I'm sending money home. It would be either that, because my area is so bad for finding work with what I do. It would be that, or I'd be taking everybody's call just to make a living, which trust me, sucks. Or I'd be collecting a check or not making any money. So, you know, God gives you lemons. You ask God for some tequila, and you do shots. And pretty much that's what I'm making the best of my situation. And I'm making memories and having fun, and I'm making the best of it. And I strongly recommend that everybody does. You know, you look at the history of the world, and even the history of this country, and you can't just sit there and wait for work to come to you. That's not how it works. And which is funny because that's the immigrant kind of way. They come to this country because this is where the work is. This is where they can get work and make money and feed their families. But the people who bitch the most about them are the people who are sitting on their ass collecting checks. And ultimately it's because it makes them look bad. You can turn around and throw all your logic at me, but ultimately it's about hey, we got a good thing going. These people are ruining it for us because they're coming in and making us look bad. So, I don't know. You know, every show I go, you can't talk about politics. That's as political as I'm going to get. But you know it's true. We all know that person collecting a check who's complaining about, hey, freaking Mexicans coming in doing the job. You just want to look at them and go, well, if you want, I'll give you a ride to the field. You can go freaking pick shit. And then they're like, oh, I ain't doing that. So they're standing, they go, well, this is America, I'm great. This, I'm above such crap. No, your grandparents were great, and your grandparents forged this country. You're sitting back collecting on their achievements, taking credit for them. This is a big difference. Anyway, sorry, enough of the political stuff. Work hard, be smart, mind your own business. It's a good way of life. You gotta be like a dog. Eat it, F it, or kick dirt on it and walk away. Don't just ignore it. Who cares? Okey-dokey. Oh, it's getting cooler. It's down to 96 degrees. It felt like a cool breeze. That's how hot it is. All right. Well, I'm burning up my data. and I'm rambling. When I think of something to talk about, I'll come back. Anyway, I covered the helmet. The only thing really, I covered some of the modifications on my bike. That was a whole video. If you look at bike mounts, you'll see all kinds of mounts on my bike. It's in a camera mounting options list, something like that. Thomas, if you're there, type in what that's called. You've seen my lists. Ugh. But, talked about the yellow shirts. I got my, I'll think of something. Oh, I know something that's good. Here, you'll get a kick out of this, or you'll hate this. I know a lot of people use Camelbacks. I used them for years, and you know what a Camelback did? Hurts my back. End of story. I've tried it every way. I've stuffed it in a tank bag. And now, after all these years and all these fantastic products that I've tried, I am literally just, I have a mug sitting on my back seat. Well, I'll only change lanes first. I have a mug sitting on my back seat. A big insulated mug. Too bad it's not a Rodney Bell mug. And I just, when I'm thirsty, it never gets warm. I always have ice when I get to the hotel at night. And every restaurant that I go to, they're happy to fill it up with more ice. So you're not spending $2 for a bottle of water everywhere. You save money, and it's cold, and you pull over to a rest area, you're just like, it's so refreshing and so frozen. When I was in Washington, I used to leave my mug on the shelf in the break room. So I would work all weekend, 3/12s, and then I would be off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and come back on Friday. And when I would come back on Friday, there would still be ice in it. So if it can do that, it can get me through a day in wherever I am, Africa, crossing rivers. So that's a good, these insulated tins are great. It should give the average person enough water to get them from gas break to gas break. So even if you have to buy something, but most of the time they'll let you take ice and water for free at gas stations too. So I'm a water drinking fool, and it's important because like a day like today, dehydration should be your number one thought. You make sure if you're not peeing, you need to get off the road. I'm not saying that I'm peeing now, but you get what I'm saying. You pull over, you don't go. The first thing you want to do is go to the bathroom. You might be dehydrated, and once the damage is done, it's done. So when you sit those gas stations, skip the soda, skip the iced tea. You want water, and as a snack, no candy. You want bananas. Do that, you can drive across the whole world with no issues. If you guys have any questions, please ask. If you have ideas for videos, things you'd like to know about, ask. I will gladly bring it up on my next stream. So have a good day. Thank you for watching, and leave a thumbs up. Blah blah blah. Like and subscribe. Ring the bell. Don't do all that stuff. Just come in and watch if you like it. Tell your friends if you want to. Don't feel obligated to support me. If I support you, I don't play that game. So, have a good day. Enjoy your Saturday. I'm waiting for the cop to pass me before I stop the live stream.